Alright, what's going on everyone? Today I'm going to show you how to upgrade a Magic Arena starter deck. These are the starter decks that you get for free just by having a Magic Arena account. We'll be upgrading all of the decks and we'll be doing them in 2 stages. In the first half of the video, I'll show you how to upgrade it with no rares, a budget upgrade using only commons and uncommons. We'll just tune it a little bit, optimize it a little bit, fix the problems with the deck, and then in phase 2, I'll show you how you can put rares into the deck and make them much more powerful. Though I do encourage you to spend your rare and mythic wild cards wisely, but if you have the cards already, I'll show you what you can add to your deck to make them more powerful. So let's get into it. So the Company of Knights deck is a Tribal Knights deck, as you can probably tell by the name of the deck. This is Tribal Knights, and you can see it with things like Inspiring Veteran, Venerable Knight, and Dub, I guess. It makes our non-knight creatures into knights, so you can see we have knights. We're playing knights, we're going wide, we're going aggressive with knights. The problem with this deck is twofold, however. First off, we have way too many non-knights in the deck, like Haktos, Basri's Acolyte, Grasping Giant. It's not that these cards are bad, they're just not in our tribe, so they weaken and water down the deck. Even if they're good, Haktos is pretty cool, just not really what we want in this specific deck. We have to restrict ourselves to knights in order to make our Inspiring Veterans better. And the other issue is we have way too many spells. This is a tribal deck, and tribal decks want to be jam-packed with creatures, and while having a few removal spells is always necessary, it's always important, we have just way too many things that aren't knights. Way too many spells. All of these are fine, like they're not bad cards, they're just not what we want in a tribal deck. So let's fix that. First off, we'll take out a short sword and replace it with an Inspiring Veteran, because why pump up one creature with a sword when we can literally power up every creature in the deck, right? Seems obvious. Sword for knight makes perfect sense. We'll also take out the other short sword for a Venerable Knight. Venerable Knight is great. 1 mana, 2 power is fantastic. It allows us to be aggressive, and it also pumps up another knight when it dies, which is great for an aggro deck. Getting value out of your dying creatures, which we're going to do because we're going to be attacking aggressively, is pretty decent. Then we'll take out 2 Infuriates for 2 Rimrock Knights. So these are very similar, they both pump up a creature. The difference is the Rimrock Knight is a knight, which is what we want in our knight stack. So the Rimrock Knight is a little bit weaker at pumping up the creature, but it allows us to put another knight in play. It's going to get +1/+1 from Inspiring Veteran. It's going to be a 2 mana 4/2 if we have 1 Inspiring Veteran in play, and that's what we want with this deck. It's a Tribal Knights deck, so even though it's a little bit weaker at pumping, it's going to be much better in this deck. And then we'll take out a dub for an Ardenvale Tactician. Like I've been saying, we just need to get more knights in the deck. The Ardenvale Tactician isn't the best knight ever, but it's a knight which is better than an enchantment that turns one of our non-knights into a knight. I don't want to turn a non-knight into a knight because I don't want non-knights to begin with. Lastly, I sort of recommend taking out 4 basic lands for 4 tournament grounds. However, I say sort of because these are amazing in a knight's deck. There is no drawback. It's a land, comes into play untapped, taps for red and white. Technically it taps for black too, we're not going to be using that, but red white dual land, basically no drawback, and also it's an uncommon. Pretty fantastic, but it is terrible, absolutely terrible with Haktos in the deck, because every single one of these we draw makes Haktos more and more uncastable. It can't tap for colored mana, and Haktos doesn't have any colorless mana in his cost. So if we draw 1 tournament grounds, Haktos can't come into play until turn 5, because we need exactly 2 red, exactly 2 white, and that 1 colorless means he won't come out to turn 5. If we draw 2 tournament grounds, he can't come out until turn 6. So Haktos gets worse and worse and worse the more tournament grounds we play. So tournament grounds is amazing, and we're going to be taking out Haktos in the next phase, but I do recommend tournament grounds, just not while Haktos is still in the deck. So moving on to the rare and mythic portion of the deck, we're going to take out 2 Weaselback Redcaps for 2 Fervent Champions, because the champion is one of the best red aggro creatures in Standard, and also happens to be a knight, which is super convenient, kind of great. We'll also be taking out 2 Youthful Knights for 2 more champions, since they'll have 2 power with first strike if we draw 2 of them anyway, plus they're just faster. They're going to attack on turn 1 sometimes before the opponent has even had a chance to play anything. These things are just great. Again, one of the best red aggro creatures in Standard. Perfectly happy to have 4 of them in a knight stack. We're also going to take out 2 Burning Yard Trainers for 2 Basri's Lieutenant, which works really well with Venerable Knight, and also at worst is a 4 mana 4/5 with protection that puts out a token when it dies. So by itself, great. 4 mana 4/5, already good. has protection from multicolored, which is decent. It also is going to put out a 2/2, but if we have Venerable Knights that are putting out +1/+1 counters, it gets even better. So definitely better than the Burning Yard Trainer. We're also going to take out a Grasping Giant for our 4th Basri's Lieutenant, because the Lieutenant is great. One of my favorite, is it my favorite? I really like the Basri's Lieutenant. It's one of my like pet cards and current standard. Really like it, and the Giant isn't a Knight, so no thank you. But if you like it, of course, jam it in another deck, that's fine, just not this one. We're also going to take out 3 Fireborn Knights for 3 Worthy Knights. I know the Fireborn Knights are kind of fun, but Knights really want to be aggressive. They want to be very low on the curve, they want to be very fast, they want to overwhelm the opponent super quick. All the best Knights are very low curve, and Fireborn Knight is fine, but it's just too slow. So Worthy Knight's great, it will win games. The 2-mana 2/2, which is in itself is okay, but it pumps out a token every time we play something. It's going to be crazy, especially with a bunch of really low cost Knights. We will go super wide with Worthy Knight, and Fireborn Knights, just, it's okay. Again, I keep saying, if you really like these cards we're taking out, you have them on your account for free now. Feel free to build another deck around them. I totally encourage that. But in this deck, Worthy Knight will be much better. We're also going to take out the Haktos for an Acclaimed Contender. Haktos in a vacuum is probably better than Acclaimed Contender. I mean, it's a 4-mana 6/1, has like all kinds of protection and stuff. Really crazy. Great card, kind of. It hasn't seen a ton of play, but it's pretty good. But Acclaimed Contender is just great in this deck. It's a 3-mana 3/3, which is fine, and it's going to dig for more Knights, so you can use it to find Inspiring Veterans or Lord. Like, being able to pay 3 mana for a 3/3 that can find an Inspiring Veteran that you can then play and pump up your entire team. It's great. Acclaimed Contender is fantastic, and a Knights deck, highly recommend it. And for that same reason, we're going to take out 2 Basri's Acolytes for 2 more Acclaimed Contenders. I know the Acolytes are great with Basri. I highly encourage you to try the green-white +1/+1 counters deck with Basri's Lieutenants and the Acolytes and all kinds of other +1/+1 counter shenanigans, but it's not a Knight, so you can't have it in this specific deck. We're going to take out the Acolyte, we're going to get more Knights in the deck, because that's going to win us games. And Acclaimed Contender, again, being able to dig for Inspiring Veterans will straight up win games. And finally, you can upgrade the mana base with Pathways, Temples, and Fabled Passages to make it much more consistent. And don't forget those tournament grounds. While I was a little bit sketchy about adding that in the common and uncommon section, once you have Haktos out of the deck, you have to get 4 tournament grounds. They're so good. It doesn't come into play tapped, and it can tap for all of your colors. An uncommon dual land is fantastic in this deck. And that's it for our upgrades. Check the description or the pinned comment. I'm not sure where I'm going to post them, but I will post both versions of the deck. I'll post the no rares budget version, I'll post the non-budget version, and I will post them in the Magic Arena format, so you can literally copy and paste them straight into Magic Arena. You just copy the list, highlight the list, copy it, go into Magic Arena and import. Even if you don't have the cards, it'll import the deck, it'll be in your collection, and you can at least look at it in Magic Arena and then decide, you know, which wild cards you want to spend. Your choice, but they will be in the description or in the pinned comment. Check below. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.